I'm 24 days clean. I have not had any sodas in 24 days. Oh man. And I'm telling you, and I feel like terrible. It's done the opposite effect on me.
What was that?
I feel like garbage. The thunder bore 2 sons. One he named after himself, the other after the fathers before him, because ego was generational. The thunder lived wild and free to the fullest, laughed louder than doctrine, and when he vanished in a fist-pumping celebration, he left us, his unqualified, unstable sons, to figure it all out. Welcome to the Sons of Thunder podcast, where healing sounds like laughter, heresy is accidental, and joy is our end-time survival strategy. Strap in, say a prayer, and try not to get stuck in the truths that hit harder than a youth camp altar call. Now, let's dive in with joy as our protest.
So we got another sponsor for today's podcast episode of Sons of Thunder.
Yeah.
Dead Sea Dolphin Tours. Are you tired of actual marine life interrupting your peace? Do you long for a dolphin tour without all the dolphins? Then come experience Dead Sea Dolphin Tours, the only boat cruise where the chance of dolphin interaction is a biblical 0. That's right. With water so salty it can't support life, we promise a serene, dolphin-free guarantee. No splashing. It's the next line. No splashing. No splashing. No clicking noises. I can't do it with the clicking noises. That's what gets me. I saw it coming up. No splashing, no clicking noises, just you, some floating tourists, and one guy in a snorkel costume named Dougfin. Like a dolphin, but Dougfin. Come float with us in the world's saltiest waters as we imagine the majestic creatures that definitely don't live there. Your premium package includes a free Dead Sea Dolphin Tours t-shirt, unlimited salt scrub, and a deeply underwhelming 30-minute float with narration by Pastor Carl, disappointing on porpoise. So your faith has room to grow. Use code THUNDERTOURS for a 10% increase in ticket prices.
Oh, okay.
It's a very interesting segue.
The more you pay, the more you get.
Yes. And you get the Thunder, the Sons of Thunder, like, specialty.
Yes.
We'll go on tour with you. We'll go on this dolphin tour.
We will go on the dolphin tour with you.
That's why it's a 10% increase, because we can't afford to pay for it. So those tickets eventually
they pay for us.
Yeah.
They pay for us.
But I love their tag, Dead Sea Dolphin Tours, disappointing on porpoise.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
Your faith has room to grow.
That's great. Look at all these pages I got. Notes.
I got all my notes.
I
wrote it on my hands.
Lots of notes.
It's the one on the right hand's not that good though, because I'm not like Ehud. I'm not left-handed, so I can't make out any of the words.
So when you write with your left hand on your right hand,
yeah,
that's where the problem is. We ate a lot of raviolis as kids.
Okay,
I think. Did you, or was it just me?
No, I think we both did.
I loved it. Those cans of ravioli.
I saw somebody drinking. Can you bleep it out? Can our editor bleep out words?
Yeah, you can.
So it sounds like I'm cursing, but I'm really not. I was gonna say. I just need that bleeped out. I saw some people drinking at church last night.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't stand. And they were like, what's wrong with you? And I said,
you have a problem.
Well, somebody says 23 flavors. I was like, that 23rd flavor got me. I was like, I was on board until the 23rd.
The 22 flavors were great.
But I think it stems back to when we were children and you wanted all the so you convinced me it tasted like garbage.
Yes.
So in my head, even now, I know it, but I'm like,
it's so good.
No, it's not.
It's so good. I haven't drank it in now 24 days. I'm 24 days clean. I have not had any sodas in 24 days. Oh man. And I'm telling you, and I feel like terrible. It's done the opposite effect on me.
What was that?
I feel like garbage. This is just before we get into whatever today. I'm a little bit tired. So I used to stop drinking Dr. Pepper for a season because I didn't want it to like own me, right? I didn't want it to be like not addicted to it so bad. So I had a friend.
So the first couple of nights you were sitting there like
twitching, scratching. Yeah, it's like I gotta have my fix.
Right.
So I had a guy that I worked with when I worked at the Lifeway bookstore.
Okay.
In Knoxville.
I bet I know who you're talking about.
He was the manager of the store.
I know exactly who
you know who I'm talking about. Nicest guy on planet Earth.
Really is.
Nobody
It's
better
disgusting.
than this guy. And he drank Dr. Peppers. So we both drank Dr. Peppers. And we stocked our little fridge there in the back room, and we stocked it with Dr. Peppers. Well, I told him what I do. I was like, I take some time off of Dr. Pepper to make sure it doesn't own me. And he's like, now I'm convicted. I need to stop drinking them too. Well, here's what that looks like. For me, I would just stop drinking them and drink water.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
He stopped drinking them. And every single day went to Starbucks and got this massive latte or something. And he'd come in and I'm like, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm off Dr. Pepper now. And I'm like, there's more caffeine in that thing. He's like,
and is that why we were stopping?
I was like, there's more caffeine and sugar in your drink than there was in the Dr. Pepper. He said, oh yeah, I'm not stopping for the caffeine and sugar. I can't. I'm not doing that. I was like, oh, okay.
I thought you were going to say like he said he stopped drinking it and then he comes in with like an IV. It's like a little drip, a Dr. Pepper drip.
I no longer drink it. I just put it straight in the veins.
That's where it
how I
belongs.
All right, we ready?
Yes.
We are back. The Sons of Thunder. Here we are. Welcome. Another episode because everybody's been asking for it.
Whoa, everybody that's in the studio audience.
Everybody in the studio in the audience right now. We need to put laugh tracks in.
We really should.
Sounds like there is a studio audience. We're in a closet, actually. We're shooting this in a closet.
I can imagine even our laugh tracks would be like just crickets. And you're like, dang it, come on.
Need to turn it up. Yes, everyone has wanted this.
We don't need multiple people in the laugh track, by the way. We need one person.
One guy. We're just going to use your little laugh at the end.
Yes.
So today we're here again. We've been asking you guys, our faithful Thunder buddies. We want to know what story you want us to tackle in the Bible.
What do you want to hear from our perspective?
Yes. I want you to go through anywhere in the scripture.
Right.
We want to hear in the comments, comment on YouTube, comment on Spotify, Apple. Can you comment on those things?
You
leave reviews.
You have to comment on all of them.
You have to comment on everything in order to get us to do
watch
it.
the entire episode.
Yes. The social medias, TikTok, Instagram. We're on Facebook too, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Are we on TikTok?
And TikTok?
Are we?
already said yes.
Oh.
I think so. I don't know. Our producer takes care of all of that.
That's good.
So, yes, here's what we want you to do. Comment and tell us what Bible story or what place in Scripture you want us to tackle. That's what we want. We asked someone recently, and we do have one we're working on.
It's a family that we mention a lot.
Yes, and they did pick a place that's going to be a little bit difficult. Because it's a story of...
It's not difficult.
It's not difficult.
It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. So here we go.
My dad always told me I was very black and white. Like, this is what it says. This is how it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I feel no remorse talking about... I mean, we talked about Lot's daughters.
We did mention them in the Ehud episode. Somehow that
was that edited out?
No, I think it made it.
What?
Pretty sure it made it, yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it made it. So here's what we're going to do today. Today we're going to just talk about what we went through this past Wednesday night with students. We still teach students on Wednesday night. We've not been fired from that yet. And we're in a series.
Because nobody's watching this.
Nobody listens to this podcast any way, shape, form, or fashion.
We don't have a lot of Thunder buddies at the church.
Not a lot of Thunder buddies. Because they looked, they saw, ooh, our pastor's doing that. Yeah, we hear enough of him. We hear enough of him.
Then they see me and they're like, no. hard pass.
I had somebody ask me the other day, they said, does your brother go to church with us? And I said, yes, he does.
Somebody from the church?
Somebody from the church. They're here all the time. Didn't know you were my brother.
They didn't know.
I was like, yes. It's hard to believe.
It's because they don't talk. They don't.
You two grew up together? You two? The two of you guys? What? It's like, yeah. Here. And it's funny because they said, does your brother goes to church with us? I said, yeah. I said, what does he look like? And the only picture I had was the cartoon of our Sons of Thunder. I was like, this is what he looks like.
Perfect.
And they said, oh, I've seen him.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen that guy.
I've seen him before.
I need to start wearing these shirts to church. I'll wear this one this Sunday.
Okay.
I think
I'm going to stop telling people you're my brother.
I think I'm in the band Sunday, by the way.
On this stage. Yeah. Singing it up. You don't sing, though. I
don't sing.
You play, right?
I mean, I sing. They just don't give me a microphone.
Yeah. Okay.
What? We do still teach back and forth on Wednesday nights.
Yep. We're in a series right now called Double Portion because Elisha was a man who said he wanted a double portion of what Elijah had.
Greedy.
Very little greedy. We did talk about what that meant on that first week of it and how it was not you weren't there. It wasn't as evil as it sounds or as greedy as it sounds, but he did ask for a double portion. Elijah said, you can have anything you want. What do you want? He's like, I just want a double portion of the presence of God in my life. That's what I want.
Well, isn't some of the modern translations, it had like even an image of Elisha going, gimme.
In the Message. Elijah says, what would you like, Elisha? He says, just give me more. Give me. So we're going through Elisha and his miracles. Last night we
gave me cookie. I gave you cookie. That's what Elisha said to Elijah.
We're even. Go on, we're even.
What is this?
So we are in 2 Kings chapter 4 last night.
Verses 1 through 7.
Verses 1 through 7. And
it's on my notes.
So I've got 18 pages here of notes.
I have it written down my arm.
Yeah. I taught last night, and I thought as we got done, you made the statement to me. You said, okay, let's just talk about that because it's an interesting story, and it's, it could be thunderized.
And what? Yeah, that's terrible. So, and like with students, we typically give about 20 minutes.
Yes.
20, 30 at the most.
Yeah.
But we're like, man, there's so much goodness in this. And there's only 7 verses, but people just, it drives me nuts. You just kind of, and it doesn't, people just don't know, like you can dive in so much more to everything. Like there's so much.
Yes.
And you said one specific thing about this one last night, and then I started deep diving, and I started chasing rabbits later, and I'm like, my God.
So we decided to record these rabbits. Here's what, I want to read the scripture. Okay, I want to read the scripture. We're talking about Elisha, and specifically the miracle with the widow's oil.
It took me until just now to understand what you meant when you said we're going to record the rabbits. Go. Gotcha. I'm on board.
So I want to read it. 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 1 through 7. I'm going to read it, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so here's what happens with Elisha and the widow's oil. Now the wife of one of the sons of the prophets cried to Elisha, your servant, my husband, is dead. You know that your servant feared the Lord, but the creditor has come to take my 2 children to be his slaves. Elisha said to her, what shall I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house? And she said, your servant has nothing in the house except a jar of oil. Then he said, go outside, borrow vessels from all your neighbors, empty vessels, and not too few. Then go in, shut the door behind yourself, and you and your sons pour into all these vessels. And when one is full, set it aside. So she went from him, shut the door behind herself and her sons. And as she poured, they brought the vessels to her. When the vessels were full, she said to her son, bring me another vessel. And he said to her, there is not another. Then the oil stopped flowing. She came and told the man of God, and he said, go sell the oil, pay your debts, and your sons can live on the rest. That's the 7 verses.
I imagine the sons being little, like saying skibidi and stuff.
They're Gen Alpha.
They're Gen Alpha.
They go knocking on the doors. Hey, you got any skibidi vessels?
You think they get?
I don't know what skibidi doesn't have a meaning. I don't think.
No words have meanings.
No.
That's why people listen to the Sons of Thunder podcast.
Because we give meaning to meaningless things.
I was going the complete other way with that.
Oh, gotcha. So we talked about Elisha and his ministry to this widow. So a couple things to note about...
Well, first off, this was after the very first, international, the huge...
Yeah, the big national miracle that he
National.
did. Yeah, in chapter 3.
It went international when it was written down.
It was, well, I guess it was international because it was another force that wasn't of the nation of Israel came in.
Could you consider it international? Because they kind of killed all of them.
It started out international. It just ended nationally with one nation standing. That's great. We should have talked about that one a little bit more. That was, and one of the things about that miracle, specifically in chapter 3, was it was the size of the miracle was dependent on the obedience level and the faith of the people of Israel.
Right. The trenches, yep.
All the trenches, however deep you dug, is how much God filled.
That's 2 Kings 3. We'll get to that in a later. We're going to need to go through these.
I know. They're so good.
They really are.
They're so good. I've learned so much from Elisha, and also kind of want to be him a little bit. So here's now where we are.
Bald.
I'm bald. That's chapter 2. That's the end of chapter 2. As we were looking at this last night, a couple of things stuck out. Right. So first off, there's a widow. Widows are vulnerable in the society. They are really unable to care for themselves. That's why there's so many precautions and so many laws and so many things put together for them to be taken care of. Her husband was a prophet, one of the sons of the prophets. So Elisha had a school where he would train prophets. Elijah had one. Elisha has one. They train up young prophets in order to be the people that, here's how you hear from God. Here's what you can do to here's how you can communicate this. Here's how you need to live your life and all the things. So this young man was one that was, and I say young man, he wasn't young, because he was old enough to be married and have kids. He was one that was respectable. Now, as we said before, I don't know if we said it on the podcast, anytime there's a prophet,
yeah,
it's because there's bad things going on, right? God has to get the attention of his people.
Yeah, God's not, I'm going to send a word because everybody's doing so great. They're doing wonderful right now.
I've looked at the report card. It's all A's. Let's send a corrector.
Dude, how great would it be if you were the prophet that got to come in and say, God says you guys are doing a swell job. If you got to be that guy. Could you imagine on Sunday morning?
God's real proud of you.
Yeah. Good job.
Everything's good.
He probably wouldn't have to write anything down because he wouldn't be like, I'm in prison about to get stoned to death.
That's how you know it's not a prophet. If he comes in, he's like, y'all are doing great. Everything's looking good. You must be, God's happy with you.
They had some people like that. They did not go, that didn't end too well for any of them.
Right. As
do not put words in God's mouth.
Oh, just turn sideways and I pulled a muscle. Oh, right there. Oh gosh. So here we are. Elisha says. So this woman says, my husband. He was a prophet. He's a good guy. If you go back to a lot of Jewish literature, they think they know who this man was. Golly, I have pulled something where every time I turn, it is like killing me.
Old.
Oh, this happens because I was laughing. It's okay.
Idiot.
We'll make it. So a lot of Jewish literature believes they know who this guy is. I'm getting old now. You'll get it. You'll get there when you get to be 40.
I'm there most of the time. I'm just not right now.
I slept pretty good last night.
Yeah.
So most people believe, most Jewish writings and back in the Old Testament writings and things, a lot of people believe that this woman was possibly the widow of a guy named Obadiah, which was found in 1 Kings chapter 18. Ahab had a guy that was a steward that really was a man who feared the Lord. Ahab, bad king, right? Him and his wife. I call her Jezzy.
Oh, Jezzy.
Him and Jezzy. Jezebel did not like Elijah. You remember, Elijah was even afraid of her. She was apparently a bad woman. Ahab had this guy serving him that was named Obadiah. Obadiah did respect and fear the Lord. There was a moment where Obadiah
Dunghill?
Different Obadiah.
Not the one that carried the bones of Joseph. That was fictional.
That was a fictional guy.
Legit.
This is a real Obadiah. He's found in 1 Kings 18.
Awesome. He's an awesome guy.
Awesome guy. In fact, he was so bold, he hid 100 prophets so they could spare their life. and hid them in a cave, provided for them. So most people in the Jewish culture believe that this woman was possibly connected to Obadiah. And that's how he incurred the debt.
This does make a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Because she says to Elisha, she says, these collectors are coming, and they're going to take my sons. Little piece about that. It doesn't mean that they take her sons from her forever. One of the laws stated that if you couldn't pay back a debt, that people could come and take your possessions. And then if you had no possessions, then they could take your family members, and they would use them as servants or slaves in their home until the year of Jubilee or until the debt's paid off.
Until they sing Heaven's Jubilee. The old redback hymn song.
Yes. If they broke out in that song, that's like the get out of jail free card. That's what that is.
Sorry, just a flashback to
So they're saying that Obadiah potentially is the guy that loved and feared the Lord, hid the other prophets, incurred a bunch of debt, couldn't pay it back because he was in the religious world, and he died. And so he died, and therefore the woman
debts when you're
possibly the woman is that widow. Now, even if she's not, it's a speculation, but even if she's not, like, her husband's a good guy. Elisha knew of him, trusted him, said he was good solid guy. So he then so what does Elisha do? He just says, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?"
Yeah, it sounds smart aleck. It sounds like he's being like.
But there's a meaning behind it.
Yeah, could you imagine though a widow coming up to Elijah and it's like, "Oh, this is a prophet of God." It's like, "What do you want me to do?"
Elisha.
That's what I said up here.
It has been so hard. The hardest thing about this double portion series is saying the first couple of weeks it was like, you remember Elijah, now there's Elisha. Elijah, Elisha. Like,
when I was a kid, I thought the preacher just had like a speech problem, like
they speech impediment.
Yeah,
they couldn't say Elijah.
They're like Elisha, and I'm like, it's Elijah.
Idiot.
It's so
you do it. It's Elijah.
Nobody talks about Elisha enough, though.
I really don't feel like people do.
Double portion. He had twice as many miracles as Elijah recorded.
Yeah. Anyway, so he has a moment where he says, "What do you want me to do about it?" Yeah. Now, I think that's a twofold. He asks two questions. What shall I do about it? And then he says, "What do you have in your house?" So he asking the first question could be him saying, "I don't have the money to pay your debts."
Right.
Because she's come up to him with a problem.
I worked the same job your husband did.
I ain't got any money.
I owe the same guy's money.
In fact, if you figure out how to get out of this, let me know. I'd love to have some advice on this. So he says, "I don't have, what am I supposed to do?" I think that means, number one, he can't cover the debt himself. And number two, he can't change the law. Because the law did say if you can't pay back your debt, then
servitude.
The servitude can happen. So he says, I can't do this, Then he asks her a question, "What do you have in your house?" And she responds, but before she responds, the question that he asked was like, "What has God already given you?"
Right.
There's something about that, right? I think we all get asked that question, and none of us want to give, I don't know. I don't think we think through what we actually have that God has already placed in our trust, in our care.
I have two vehicles. I mean, neither one of them run, but I've got two vehicles. No, I think too, like the way she responds is not in the same sense that, well, this is all God's given me. This is it. Like, this is the only thing God's given me. Mm-hmm. It was, this is what I have. It was almost like, okay, this is what I got.
Yes. And she said, yeah. So in the story, I want to read the text just so that we're all in the same place. Elisha said to her, "What shall I do for you?" Meaning, I can't do it, and I can't change the law. Mm-hmm. So he says, "Tell me, what have you in the house?" She says, "Your servant has nothing in the house." That's how she says it, except for a jar of oil. That word jar in the Hebrew, the only time this word appears in the Old Testament.
Oil or oil?
Oh, if your neighbor gets you, it's oil.
Could you imagine, like,
I got a jar of oil.
Everybody, read scripture as if everybody was Southern.
Yeah.
Some oil.
I got a jar of oil.
Got a jar of oil.
Oil. What?
Oil.
She says, "I have a jar of oil." This word for jar is not the word for cooking jar, right? It's not a big bowl, or it's not a big giant jar that you would see in a kitchen. This is typically used as a prophet would use,
like
to anoint with oil.
Let's talk. I mean, that makes sense.
That makes sense. That's what he did.
Her husband was a prophet.
This is most likely a vial, probably just a couple ounces at that. So he has this. She has this vial of oil in her house. This jar, this vial or flask of oil. And she said, this is what I've got. So Elisha says, that's plenty.
Whoa, that's almost too much.
Can can I borrow some and then I'll give you back the rest?
Dump most of that out real quick.
Yeah. We're going to see God do something awesome. Then he tells her something wild. Right? I read it a second ago. I'm going to read it again because it's really good.
Let's go.
He says, then he said to her, go outside, borrow vessels from all your neighbors, empty vessels and not too few. Now,
I'm sorry. I discussed this with you last night as you did it. The very first thing the prophet of God tells the widow who owes people something is to go borrow more. He's like, I know that you don't have anything, and your problem is you owe
because you've borrowed too much.
You've borrowed too much. So what I need you to do is go to your neighbors and borrow some stuff. It's great.
Fantastic.
This is how like insanely awesome God is, though.
Yes, yeah. Go and borrow vessels.
I wonder if God tells Elijah or Elisha, "Girl, do it again."
You'll get there.
Elisha. I wonder if he tells. Sorry, I broke the microphones. I wonder if he tells Elisha this, and Elisha's like, "This is the first time." He's like, "God, please don't make me do this. I don't want to tell her this. This is awkward.
I need you to go get some more debt."
Yeah,
that's the answer to your problems.
Just real quick.
Can I tell you? A lot of in America, we think that's the answer to our problems. We just need to borrow more.
The commercials are real catchy.
Real catchy. So he says to her, go and borrow vessels, empty ones, and not too few. So he says, go borrow every vessel you can find in your neighbors.
A plethora,
if you will. So So then it says she does. She goes, and it's an immediate step that happens next. The way it's written is she goes and she says, okay, I'm going to immediately go. She doesn't question it. She doesn't ask any other questions. She says, I'm trusting Elisha.
Do you think it's because her husband was a prophet, a godly man?
I think so.
She knew.
I think she knew God takes care of her.
What you talking about, Elisha?
Yeah. I don't think she's like a super big critic about it. I think she's like, okay, if Elisha says it, I'm going to trust it because I've been married to a man of God. And whenever he said it worked, Elisha's a man of God, it's going to work.
Yeah.
So she goes and borrows jars. Now, before we go any further in the story, every jar she borrowed is a statement of obedience and faith. Right?
Think about how awkward it was.
I can't imagine. Number one, which we talked about this last night, she goes into the first house, she knocks on the door. Everybody in the community knows her. They all know her husband's gone.
Yeah.
They know she's poor.
Right.
No question. You know who's poor in the community, right?
Yeah, me.
So she comes up, if Joseph ever knocks on your door, you know he wants something. He's poor. She knocks on the door.
Empty jars.
What do we do for widows? If somebody passes away,
casserole.
We give them a casserole. We give them some kind of food. We give them gift cards to go get food. She knocks on the door. They come to the door. I can just imagine the first person. Oh, how's it going? Right? That's how it looks. How you doing? He kind of nods the head. What do you need? Do you need something? And she says, I need all the empty jars you got.
Do you think she had a sense of urgency? I think she did.
I think she did.
Because you got to think, these are her children.
That are that are about to go and be
Which 6
servants.
years, because the 7th year is a year of Jubilee. So
yes.
in Jewish customs, it says in Scripture, after 7 years, they're
free to
kind
go.
of servitude, they're released.
Yeah.
So,
but she's about to lose her kids for 6 years.
And you got to imagine that. Let's imagine they're 6 and 8.
Yeah.
You miss some of the most productive years of their lives. That, not that they can work for you, but the influential years of their life,
the growth years and the years that they're most impactful. And so she's got a sense of urgency. There's no doubt about it. And I think she brings her sons with her because it says they go to knock on the doors and they ask.
She wants as many as she can because Elisha said, "Don't get too few."
Yeah, don't get too few. Go get everything you can get. So she's going house to house. She's collecting jars. I think people are thinking she's lost her mind.
No, it's like, can I have some jars? Like, kind of like, all right. So do you want what do you need? And she's like, no, I don't want stuff in it.
Yeah, I just want the empty jars.
Yeah. Or somebody's like,
why?
I know what this really is. I'm going to provide her with a jar full of flour, and she walks outside and she's like, I said empty, and she just dumps it out.
I want empty jars, empty vessels specifically. She goes door to door. So I started thinking, let's play this out like it's actually happening because it's happened. It's real. So you've got, she goes to the first house. Hey, I need to borrow, I'll bring it back. I need to borrow empty vessels. And they're like, okay, this seems weird, but are you going to sell them? Are you going to put, she's like, no, I just need to borrow them. I'll bring them right back. Okay. Do you need anything in them? No. Okay. Do you need anything? I'm on a time crunch here. I need the jars. I need the vessels. So then the wife in the home, it's like, soon as we'll call this lady, it doesn't say her name. We'll call her Rebecca. Okay. Rebecca's a good Old Testament name. So then Rebecca goes to the next house, goes to the next door.
Right.
And when she goes to the next door, she says, hey, she's got a jar in her hand, I need some empty vessels. Well, as soon as she leaves the first house, you got to know they close the door and the wife starts talking to the husband. Right?
What? Because a husband, here's what most men would do. They would just be like, okay.
Yeah.
Go grab it and give it. And then the wife would say,
careful.
The wife would say, who is that?
Yes.
It's Rebecca.
Who's it? It's Rebecca next door.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm so sad for her. I can't believe what's happened to her.
Yeah.
So what does she ask for? What does she need?
Oh, she just asked for
she wanted the empty jars.
Yeah, she wanted all the empty jars we got.
Why is she doing that?
Oh. That's where it's at. I don't. Yeah. I don't. Could you imagine if there's
all the wives are now looking out the windows.
If there was phone, oh my goodness, Janice, I'm telling you right now, Rebecca's coming over to your house. She's going to be asking for the most random things.
She's going to want some empty jars.
She said, I need some empty jars. I need some of your empty jars. And I was like, I asked my husband, I said, what? Why does she want some empty jars? Can you believe he just looked at me and went, oh no. Like, I can just imagine, because I probably never stopped. She's like, I just need to know why on earth would she want these empty jars? And she can't. I'm sorry, let's switch it on and off real quick. Gosh. Could you imagine? Could you imagine though? The fact is, what Elisha told her to do. Mm-hmm. I said Elisha that time.
You did. Good job.
Winner!
Way to go.
Elisha told her, after you get these jars, we already talked about this because you read it.
Yeah.
Go into your house, shut the door. Nobody needs to know what's about to happen. She didn't even know at the time. She just was
collecting empty jars.
So
here's my question to that. So she goes in. What does she say to the neighbors? I just need to borrow some empty jars.
I need to borrow some empty jars. Why? Because Rebecca, why do you need this empty jars? Like,
sweetie, can we fill this up for you?
We're going to fill them up for you.
We're going to fill it up for you. I don't need it filled.
My husband's going to start doing some perfume, and I think we're going to have descendants that are going to be perfumists. Nehemiah, you need to watch last week's episode. Perfumist building walls.
Oh, man.
So she goes through and she's asking, I need empty jars. And again, she doesn't know why.
This sounds crazy.
She doesn't know why. So if somebody does ask her, like, okay, Rebecca, why do you need empty jars? I don't know.
I'm trusting the Lord.
Trusting
Is
God.
that what she says? Does she say, it's no big deal, I'll return it back to you and I'll tell you the story later?
That makes sense.
I'll tell you later.
If it were her kids are probably over there like, I can't even imagine. If they were like me and you as kids.
Well, that's, you got to here's what I think happens. I think she goes to the door. She's like, hey, Ben and Jacob, why don't you guys boys go over next door and get some jars, get as many as you can, and they like start taking stuff off the porch. It's like, actually, wait, ask to borrow them. We're gonna bring them back, but just go ask them. Hey, can we borrow your empty jars? Why do you need empty jars? We're playing a game. We're gonna see who gets the most jars.
Elisha said we're gonna play a game.
I was told if I get more jars, that I could have more money. I could have a bigger allowance. I thought you were poor. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but it's going to work out. So she goes around, gets all the jars, and goes back home, shuts the door. And she takes her, and it's a full family project at this point. I personally believe that Janice and the other people that are around, maybe kind of, they're outside now. They're curious because she's been carrying around a bunch of empty jars, a bunch of empty vessels, taking them to her house. And she goes in and closes and makes sure she closes the door, right?
Janice just locked I'm Janice. Rebecca.
I'm Janice. Rebecca just locked. She done shut her door. She didn't want us to see.
She's sitting in there. We all know she only has that one little vial. That's all she's got. That one little bitty thing of oil.
What's happening? one little bottle of oil. That's all she got.
That's all she got. Why she got all them empty jars in there?
What's she do? Maybe she got some leaks in her roof.
She locked them doors.
Maybe she got some leaks in her roof, so she's putting the jars down so that it'll catch the water. Poor
Rebecca.
Not make her floor muddy. She goes in there, shuts the door. I see her neighbors like looking in. I just do. I know it. I know it doesn't say it. I know it, but like curiosity of people.
Sure. Just go over there and get a look. Get a look. See for me. I want to
go stand on her camel trough right outside there. That camel trough right there. You can stand. You can look right in her window. Don't tell me how I know that.
The husband's like, I don't need to know. She just asked for this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking like from person. Not my wife doesn't sound like that, but from personal experience.
I thought that was your wife when you started talking.
No, she gonna kill me. So
she don't listen.
She doesn't listen to this for good reason. Yeah. But there was we have some friends. My wife's friends with the wife. I'm friends with the husband.
Yeah.
And me and the husband talk pretty regularly.
Yeah.
And her and the wife talk pretty regularly. So anytime something comes up, Tara's like, did you hear about what's going on with him? I'm like, no. She's like, have you not talked to him? I'm like, I'm talking to him right now.
Yeah.
She's like, he's about to have a major procedure done that's like, I mean, this is going to completely alter the course of his life. What is he messaging you about right now? He's like, this funny cat video he's found on.
Yeah.
That's what, just keeps laughing.
This morning, we went to a coffee shop, my wife and I, and she said something about so at church, one of our staff members had a grandbaby. Okay, one of our staff members had a grandbaby. And so here's the extent that I knew.
Right.
I knew the baby's name and how much the baby weighed. That's what I knew.
Just because you like numbers.
And it was texted to me, so I read it.
Okay.
And so my wife's like, well, how was this? What was this going on? I was like, I don't know. And she's like, well, how was this? I was like, I don't know. What hospital? I don't know. What is this? I don't know. I was like, I've told you everything that I know. Everything that I know. And she's like, but don't you work with him? I'm like, yeah, I saw him yesterday. We'll hang out all day.
That absolutely drives my wife up the wall. She's like, why didn't you ask more questions? I'm like, I feel like if I needed to know, they would have told me more.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think to ask the questions. That's why I think it's Janice.
It's Janice.
Just go over there and look. Get up in there. Get up there.
Get up there. Look in the window and see what she's doing in there because I'm confused.
He's like, I don't want to do that. Just shut up and go do it. Just go look in that window.
Do what I say. Do what I say.
Do what I say, honey. Go over there.
So this woman, Rebecca, we're calling her.
You gave her our good jars anyway. So.
That's my good wash bin. It was my good wash bin.
That's my good Tupperware.
It's good. You didn't even give her the lids. You didn't give her the lids.
I can't even find them. Okay, sorry.
So
she's in there. She's got the door
widow
closed.
Is in there, door closed.
With her sons. That's it.
It's a family moment. Elisha's not there.
Where is Elisha? We don't even know.
Don't even know.
You think he just turned around and walked off?
That's kind of the way Elisha was, right?
With everything.
We talked about the axe head moment, and he's like just get it. Get back to work. Just pick it up. Come on, what are you doing?
Here's a stick.
Yeah. This is direct. It's not going to float up. This is Elisha, right?
The axe head just started floating.
That's good because the water was murky.
I was like, I don't want to go down there again. Okay.
So this is just her and her kids.
Because that's how Elisha is. We don't know where he is.
Don't know where Elisha went. Elisha's gone again. We don't know where he's at.
Because he just knew.
I
got a word from God.
He didn't. And here's what I want to make sure everybody understands. He did not have to perform the miracle.
I don't even know if he knew what the miracle was.
Yeah. He's like, go do this.
He doesn't need to know.
And when you pour it in, you'll fill up the jars and then we'll figure it out.
Fill them up.
We'll fill them up. Just fill up the jars. With what? With what you got. How confusing is this? Come on, just get it. Let's figure it out. So I think it's important for families and people to know that it doesn't have to be the pastor, it doesn't have to be the prophet, it doesn't have to be the man of God, it doesn't have to be the super spiritual paid Christian to come and perform a miracle in your home. You can experience the miracle without the pastor.
Aren't all of Christians paid Christians if you got a job? Oh, you're talking like church.
Yeah. That's a good point, though.
I'm a Christian. I get paid.
Yeah. That's a pretty good point. You're a paid Christian.
I am.
I get paid to be a Christian.
That's true.
That's the difference.
I do not.
Sort of. I'm not really sure. Well, you get paid now with this podcast.
Yeah, I think I've got like 8 cents in my pocket. Rolling.
Yeah, that's right.
I owe $20 for the last sponsor you let me
I made you read. Yeah.
Yeah.
This woman is in her house. She's got her sons. She starts pouring, and I just imagine the boys. She's got this little vial, right, of oil. She starts pouring it into the first vessel, the first pot that she has. I think she picks a small one first.
Yeah.
Personally,
We've got the different size Tupperware in the house.
yeah, I think she grabs the little Tupperware.
And
she just starts pouring.
She kind of hides it.
I think she hides it. I think she didn't want her kids to see it because she didn't want kids to be disappointed. I think she starts pouring and fills it up, and she's still got a vial full of oil. So she hands it to her kids. Says, "Bring me another one."
It's like those baby bottles when we were kids, like the that some of the girls would have. Our grandmother had it. She had one granddaughter, and she thought we need to have.
Okay,
as much
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You look like, and it looks like it's
like it
emptying.
disappeared, and you turn it over, and it's
like
back
orange
again.
bottle or something, and you turn it back up, and it looks like it's filling back up. And you're like, what kind of voodoo magic is this?
Yeah,
I think it was from Elisha Toys.
it was
A Wrath Buddy.
A Wrath Buddy Elisha. So, I'd like to see what that Wrath Buddy sounds like. I'm sure he'll sponsor soon. Wrath Buddies, put Elisha out.
Yeah, put Elisha.
So anyway, she pours it
I'll
in
do
here.
the voice for you. If you want me to.
Pours it in, and I think her kids get wide-eyed, and I think they were like, "What just happened, Mom? It's full.
I think
it's
so
still
too.
flowing."
Because that childlike wonder,
Mm-hmm.
like anytime I love my youngest daughter is the funniest when it comes to seeing something for the first time. Like you've seen her expressions.
Yes.
Anytime something happens,
She's a very expressive young lady.
She really is.
Yeah.
Like she's
very
going
expressive.
to rule the world, not in a positive manner. We don't think it'll be an iron fist.
More like a villain in a Batman movie.
She really is, and she will win.
Yeah.
But she's like, anytime you see something for the very first time, she's got this look on her face, and it's great. It's like something so simple. Like the first time she saw popcorn pop in a microwave, it was like,
This is incredible. This is incredible.
oh, is everybody seeing this? Like, yeah, we've seen it a lot, and you're not amazed by this? That's what I think the kids were like.
And then then you think, actually, I kind of am amazed by it. Like the more I think about it, how that's like a miracle that happens. She's pouring in, she pours it, fills it. Son, bring me another vial. Bring me another vessel. Bring me another one. She bring another one. I think the kids are going crazy. I think they're running around the room. Just
high-fiving
kids.
each other.
Yes.
Screaming
it's
parkour.
Going. Yes, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Looks over,
parkour.
Another one. They just keep giving another one.
I think they just. I think
everywhere.
they had them all. They had them in their arms, and they're like, "Mom, go ahead.
Yeah,
Mom, here.
I'm ready. All right, you ready? Keep pouring. Don't let it turn. Don't let it. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. The whole thing. Fill up all these vessels. And as soon as every one of them was full, she says, "Bring me another one." Well, there's no more left.
And they tell Mom, that was the last one.
That was the last
I bet
one.
part of their house is full.
I'm sure. The ground in their living room, which I know it's not really a living room, but the ground in their house there
Where they lived. It's a room.
is full. Yeah, it's full. The door's shut. I think the kids are celebrating. I think they're shouting. I think they are cheering. I think the people outside can hear it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm rarely wrong.
You just go over there and check out what that noise is. She's hooting and hollering. She lost her mind.
She done lost her mind. Have you seen her?
I don't know what's going on with her. She's just
So after they fill it up, after they experience this,
right.
then
it was as soon as that last one. Or is that what you're about to read?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as the vessels, when the vessels are full, she said to her son, "Bring me another vessel." And he said to her, "There is not another." Then the oil stopped flowing.
That would have freaked me out even more than it doing that. It's like as it's filling, it's like, oh my goodness, it keeps filling. Give me another one. There's no more. It stops.
Yeah, I think it stopped after the phrase was said, "There is not another vessel." We are at total capacity.
Man.
And God says, "Then I'll stop." It didn't stop because the oil couldn't keep going. It stopped because that was the amount of faith and obedience that they put out. Do you think, so here's a question I didn't ask last night. Do you think the neighbors had more empty jars that they didn't give her?
Yes, I do. I genuinely think they did. You want to know why? Because I do.
Right.
People ask me for stuff. I don't give sacrificially.
Right. So here's a question. Now this is all speculation, but here's my question. If the neighbors gave all they had, do you think, because it says then next, she goes and tells Elisha, she's like, you're not going to believe this. Every bit of these are full. And he says, then go sell these, pay off your debts. God provided enough to pay off all of their debts and to give them a life that they couldn't afford on their own. Because then he says, and take the rest, and you and your sons live on it. So here's my question. Do you think if the neighbors gave everything that they had, gave all the empty vessels that they had, that they would have been provided for?
Ooh.
I don't know. It's a fun way to think.
It is a fun way to think.
Because we see the miracle. The oil flowing is ridiculous.
I was trying to think of how Janice would respond. The whole time I was like, Janice.
That was my wash bucket that she used. I can't believe that she did that.
Lord, now I sacrificially gave to this poor widow, to Rebecca. Sacrificially gave. And where's my reward?
Where's my reward? She got a big check.
I wonder if that's, and then that still small voice, did you give all? Like I go back to the widow and her two mites in the New Testament. Yeah. When Jesus is like, hey, and that's one of my favorite scriptures in all the scripture, which we say that about every Bible verse we read. I know. It's my absolute favorite.
Whenever I study one, I'm like, this one's my favorite.
Yeah. Ooh, this is my favorite.
Ooh, I forgot about this one.
This is
so good.
So when we get to the New Testament, though, in the widow and her two mites, like embarrassingly, she came, and I still see her in this situation. So she gives the two mites, and Jesus is like, whoa, did you just see that? And they're like, what? It's like, these guys are giving a ton of money. You don't know about them. You don't know who they are. Right. You know the widow. Yeah. He said they gave out of their richness. She gave out of her poverty. She gave all she had. Yeah. And like, that's what she did. She gave God all she had. She goes, I have nothing but this small container.
Yep. That's what I have. She even says before, I have nothing. This is all that's left in the house. And she holds up this little vial. And Elisha's like, oh, that's great. That's plenty. We'll be covered. Now what I need you to do is go act in faith and go step out in faith and do something.
Yep.
God rarely says, oh, that's what you've got. Awesome. Then let's fill it up. No. God then will say, I need a step of faith or obedience for you. And he wants empty jars. He he can't fill an already full vessel. She goes, sells it all. It's amazing. It's an incredible story. So a few takeaways.
Don't be a Janice.
Don't be Janice. In this story, don't be Janice or whoever it was that called Janice. Like Rebecca's going to come over and ask for all your stuff. So hide your pretty pots.
Yeah,
hide your decorative ones.
I know she's been looking at that Pioneer Woman stuff.
Last time we had her over, she was eyeballing my fruit bowl. She was eyeballing it, and I had no idea she was going to come and borrow it.
I need all your empty jars. Well, this one's full now. I don't even know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
I don't have any empty ones left. So this is a moment, I think, that the kids, do you think that the widow or and we don't know if her name was Rebecca, it just says widow. We just made up Rebecca.
Right.
Do you think
I made up Leroy last week.
There was a perfumist, not named Leroy. The woman and her sons, do you think their lives were ever the same?
They couldn't have been. There's no, no, let me rephrase that. They could be, because how many times are we tempted by the world after?
Have you ever seen God do something amazing?
I have. I have seen God do stuff.
Did it affect your life to the absolute fullest? Or do you get used to it?
I feel like sometimes you get used to it.
I have people, and I've shared, I don't know if if it ever made it to air. I know we talked about it before, like I was, whenever I was a youth pastor and made no money and like was really struggling, I got some surprise things show up in my mailbox that was gift cards and...
Oh, so you got my gift?
Do I owe you for that?
Gift? No, the gift card, no. Flaming, like the firecracker I put in there one time. That was great.
Yeah. But I remember we had nothing. We were down to our last penny, and I go to the mailbox, open it up, and there's an envelope in there. Doesn't even have a stamp on it. Somebody illegally put it in my mailbox. And we weren't living close to church, and it had gift cards in it to a grocery store. We had no money, no groceries. Amazing. God did this, right? He provided all of it.
Yeah.
And I will have to say today, looking back on that, it's a nice memory. but did that shape my faith story? And I don't know. I mean, I think it did, but I do think a lot of people will just say, oh, thank you, Lord, and then move on.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, God took a moment, considered me, considered my situation, what I needed, filled my jars in a miraculous way.
In a way that doesn't make sense.
In a way that doesn't make sense. Nobody knew I didn't have any dollars left. Nobody knew I was hungry. Nobody knew I had grocery bills that I couldn't pay. Nobody knew I needed groceries. Nobody knew that. And yet...
Sorry, I was thinking of another episode of The Office. But...
and yet it showed up at the right time in the right moment, right? Whenever I looked at the receipt, I'll never forget this. I looked at the receipt on the gift card. It was purchased like 2 or 3 weeks before that.
Ooh.
And I'll never forget looking at it thinking, 2 weeks ago, I didn't need groceries because it was like where we were and I had to pay some doctor bills and things. And like, now I needed groceries. Those gift cards were waiting for multiple weeks when I had something, right? When I didn't need them, they showed up when I had the need. And I look back at that and yes, it has shaped a part of my life because I still tell that story regularly, but it's not, I look at this woman and her sons, like her son should have a testimony that is radical. It should be they had nothing. They closed the door, and it was just them that experienced it.
They were gonna spend years
in slavery.
Yeah, in slavery as servants.
Yes,
like
they were freed from
God
that.
God freed them from that.
So here's the Old Testament truth that's concealed in there, right? They could not provide a way out of the slavery, and they could not give themselves a life, and yet God said, "I will provide you a way to get out of slavery, to be freed from your shackles." And I will also, on top of that, give you a retirement plan that you couldn't afford on your own. If that's not the gospel, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And it's individual. It's us. It's experiencing it. I don't think families experience this much because I don't think families take that step of obedience. I think that, and I don't think they ever get to the end of themselves. This woman was at the end of herself. She was crying out to the man of God, I can't go anymore.
You made the comment last night, if we come to the end of ourselves, it would be so evident because churches would be packed.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're grabbing people and you're dragging them. You're like, you have to experience this.
Yes.
Like this is something so big. And it honestly boils back to me. It comes back to me that just that childlike wonder of God provided. Why do I not have that same expression my little Lorelei does when she saw popcorn for the first time?
Right.
What is that? Like, you put firecrackers in there?
I mean, amazing. Think about God doing something in the world today around you. Not even with you or to you or at you, but around you. We don't get it. We don't even see it. Most of the time we don't see it because we're all caught up in ourselves. We're caught up in whatever our lives are. This woman came to the end of herself, begged for God to do something. Said, okay, well, here's what you need to do then. You need to take a step of faith. Every time you take a step of faith, God provides. And God's provision changes it didn't just fix their current situation. It didn't just fix their poverty. It changed their bloodline altogether. It was a legacy builder. It not only fixed their one slavery thing, but it gave them something to live on and something to live for and something to live to. And you got to know what happened when they returned the vessels back to the neighbors.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Hey, thanks. I
appreciate it. I cleaned your bowl for you.
Cleaned your bowl.
I think it's a testimony that's like just goes crazy. I think it's a testimony that goes crazy. It's like, listen to what God did. He showed up.
Because by that time, she was able to explain, like, hey, this is what God did.
This is what God did.
And then how many of those neighbors do you think got mad because they were like, well, why didn't I get this?
Why did anything happen to me? Well, because you weren't to the end of yourself.
Yeah.
You didn't cry out to the prophet and say, I just need a touch from God right now.
Yeah.
I just need it. Maybe that's the challenge. Maybe you just need it. You know, we talked about dads the last episode. I'll talk about dads again. Dads, get to the end of yourself. Like, get to the point where you say, I need God to show up. If God doesn't show up, I look like an idiot.
Yeah. I don't need any help looking like an idiot.
Imagine her taking all of those all know. Imagine her going and getting all those empty vessels, going to her house, shutting the door, and nothing happening. And then taking the empty vessels back. They'd be like, why'd you borrow them? Tried something.
I was just kidding.
A failed experiment. My kids are being shipped off now. Like she would look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Right? She would have had no story. But instead, she said, I'm going to trust that God will provide. That's what I'm going to trust.
Man, that's good.
So yeah, I don't know. That's what we talked about last night. It was a good night. I was making sure there's nothing else in my notes that were like, it was like standoutish.
There was it's such a powerful, crazy story, which I've heard before, but until you really stop and think and that's what my challenge is. When you're reading scripture, just stop and think about what you're reading. It's 7 verses.
7 verses.
That's all that is.
7
and it
verses.
Is here's the thing we talked about in 2 Kings chapter 3, which was the last week of student ministry. We haven't talked about that in the Sons of Thunder podcast yet, but we might.
Right. We might. It's good.
God is going to provide a victory. It's a twofold victory. It's a double portioned victory. He's going to provide water to drink and victory over your enemy.
Right.
Is what happened in 2 Kings chapter 3.
Yes.
But first, grab a shovel, dig some ditches.
You got to dig first. If you don't dig, you're not going to experience it.
That's the same exact thing with the widow.
If she doesn't go to the houses, she doesn't get. If she only got 3 vessels, can you imagine if the first house said they didn't have any? Think about the discouragement that might happen. We talked about discouragement last time. Think about the discouragement. Oh, I'm embarrassed to do this. I've got 2 vessels. I'll be fine.
Should be enough.
This should be enough. I think we need vessel gatherers.
We need people who
say it's not enough.
Like, just dump your pride at the door, because it's not going to, I mean, your pride's going to do nothing but hold people back from heaven. Like, it's not going to get people to heaven. Right. You got to drop that pride.
Man, that's dangerous.
You got to drop that, because if you don't, and I mean, if you do not do that, there may be people out there that will never get to experience a move of God.
Right.
Because those people, I think some people around the community were transformed because they heard the story and they're like, man, I got to be a part of that. That to me reminds me of the times that people have asked me to pray for a specific event. I didn't do anything. Would everybody be fully aware? I did nothing except talk to God, who had already had everything orchestrated. He got to provide a miracle, and it changed my life watching somebody else go through something.
Yes.
It's changed me. But like you said, the problem is when you get used to it, then it starts just becoming a good memory.
Right.
We need to have that awe-inspired, like that moment, a childlike wonder. That's what I always go back to. I remember one thing Dad taught us. He said, I don't feel, and I know this came from somebody else too, but he said, I don't feel like you're an expert in your field unless you can explain what you know to a child. Mm-hmm. If a child can understand what you're saying, then I will. And Dad was the best at that.
Yes.
He could say something and you're like, man, I've been studying scripture for 50 years. And like, I know I've read this a million times, but I got something out of this. And then you have a little 4-year-old be like, guess what I learned today? They're like, quote the whole sermon. You're like, wow.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing about this text that when I first read it, I thought, okay, there's a miracle here, some pretty cool things, but the principles behind it are anybody can experience it.
You got to do something.
God tells you something, and you got to do it. Just go be a part of it. And then the widow and her sons were a part of the miracle. They participated in it, much like the disciples did when they handed out the food at the feeding the 5,000, the 4,000. They got to be a part of that miracle. They participated in it. But here's another thing I noticed: when she goes back, when the jars were all full, when the vessels were all full, she did not complain that the oil stopped flowing.
No.
Sometimes I think there's a lot of people that I know, and a lot of people I may even lean toward this. When it would stop flowing, I think I would be a little bit frustrated. It's like, well, God, why didn't you have more? He's like, why didn't you get more vessels?
See, that's the thing. If
I filled up everything you brought me.
If they had empty vessels in their house already, God filled them up without her doing anything.
Yeah.
That to me looks more like a genie in a lamp than the God of creation, who is like, I'm not here to just do things for you. I'm here to pursue my creation.
Yeah.
And to do that, you got to do something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know any time, and it may not be something as drastic or something that even seems, most of the time it is something as crazy as, so here's my question, going back to what your story was. What do you think that person who gave you that gift card 3 weeks before, 2 to 3 weeks before you needed it, God put it on their heart, I need you to go buy this gift card. Like, what? Why?
Why? Right.
Why would I need to buy this?
Right.
I've had that happen before. And I've heard stories of God's like, hey, they just had that yearning to go do something. You're like, that makes absolutely no sense. It's like, that's what makes it so amazing. That's why I think God has this phenomenal sense of humor too.
Right.
I think he does because he's like, hey, go around and ask people for some empty jars. Like, I'm going to do something that's going to blow everybody's minds. Yeah. I'm going to get some chuckles out of this too.
Yeah. Yeah. This is watching her go from house to house.
Go to Janice's house real quick.
I think
I made her special.
She's got extras. She's got extra jars. Don't let her fool you. She's got more at the back. Don't let her fool you. I think the phrase of today is like, if we go to God and say, God, why didn't you do a great miracle? And he's like, I filled up everything you gave me.
Oof.
Like whatever you give him, he'll fill up. If you give him empty vessels, he will fill it up.
The problem is we have vessels in our lives that we filled with worldly treasures, as we talked about before, filling with Egypt, and we're not filling with the promised land.
Yep.
We're not allowing him to fill it.
Yeah.
Because we think we know best. We don't.
There's the story of Elisha and the widow's oil.
Okay.
The one with the widow's
oil.
Not Elijah. Elisha. And the widow and
Janice.
Dang it, Janice.
All right.
Good times. Congratulations. You made it to the end of this episode.
I do declare you made it to the end of the episode.
If you laughed, cried, confessed something accidentally, or now need to call your therapist, you are an official Thunder Buddy. As we close, our commissioning is always the same, and it's so simple. May your joy be louder than your inner Pharisee. May your joy be loud enough to scare your inner Pharisee. The thunder left us a microphone, and for reasons heaven refuses to explain, we're still using it. This has been the Sons of Thunder podcast, where the forecast is always 100% chance of laughter with a side of emotional damage.
Bye!